Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello everyone. There's lots of people popping in the room. I actually didn't see who was first. I'm going to go with Paula because your comment came through first. So hello everybody. We have got a couple of shows for you tonight, so thank you for joining us. I hope that you guys can stick around for the next one as well. We've got lots of different things happening this week. Hi Jonathan. Hi Kaz. Hi Val. It's lovely to see you. Oh, Kayleen, you're there too. Everyone's in. So we're going to welcome Brook into the room and have a bit of a chat about his new single. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. We'll try to get them for you. Hello. How are you?
Hey, how you going?
I'm good. There's lots of people in the room already. I don't know if you can see the comments over there, but I can certainly put them on the screen if you can't. But Paula's jumped on already. Kaylene's
You're not going to believe this.
Here.
My audio has just gone all crazy, and all I can hear is from
Hang
you.
on 2 seconds. Let me try moving you off. Has that made it better?
No.
No. I reckon you're on are you on an iPhone maybe?
I'm on an iPhone, yeah.
Yeah. That might be why. If you might have to close out and come back in.
Oh, okay.
The iPhones do that sometimes, but we can stay live, I'm pretty sure, while you do that. So it's okay.
All right. I'll
good.
try and, how do I close out of it? That's the question.
Oh, I can kick you out. I'll kick you out. There you go. I kicked him out. Oops. That doesn't feel like a nice, powerful button. How are you? Have you got any shows this weekend coming up? I've been to so many this year already. I can't keep count, and which is great. I'm not complaining at all. It's just been a great fun time. But yeah, what have you guys got coming up? Hi, Jan. Hi, Darren. I've been meaning to call you. I know that we keep missing each other, Darren. It's been crazy. I think you knock off work before I do. And when I knock off, you're already home. But Brook's just coming back into the room now, so we'll give it a moment and we'll welcome him back in. Hopefully it's working.
Yes.
Hello. Is it working?
Better, yeah. It's still stuttering occasionally, but not as bad.
Yeah. I can hear you clearly, so as long as if you can just let us know if you have too much trouble.
Awesome.
There's lots of people popping in to say hi and asking how you are and what you've been up to. I haven't seen you for a while. What have you been up to in the last probably, I don't know, how long it's been? 18 months?
I reckon it have to be 3 or 4 years ago, at least.
I reckon it's been a long time. And I know I saw you do a gig last year, early in the year when I was up. I can't remember which trip it was, but I was up there for one, and there was one the year before, but I haven't had you on the show for ages. What have you been up to?
I mean, I guess I didn't, before Put 'Em Up, I didn't release a song since 2020, I think.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah, like very early on. It was just before COVID hit, I released Country Kind of Guy. So, but I don't think I was on for that. I think it was on for the one before that, the ballad.
Yeah, because I remember you released the album fairly soon, and you did we went on a cruise tour when you did one of the river cruises, and then COVID wasn't far after all of that, I don't think. And yeah, it's just kind of all blended together actually at the time.
It does that.
But I know you've got at the moment your song Put 'Em Up is out, but you've also got one coming out on the 15th.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So tell us a bit about the new one, and then we can probably touch on the other one as well. Blue Eyes.
So the new one I actually wrote. It's probably the first proper good. I'm gonna eat good. To me, song that I ever wrote. Like, it was back in the 90s I wrote this song.
Yeah, right.
And it's always floated around. I'd forget about it, and then the guy that I write with a lot, Anthony, he would always say, "What about that Blue Eyes song? You should do that. You should do that." And it's because it's got a country thing. I wrote it before I was even doing country stuff. So at some stage I'll release the original demo that I did back then.
Back then.
But
it'd be interesting to hear the quality of recording back then too to now.
Yeah, I mean, it was not it was only a demo. It was never, a finished product or anything. But it was just so I kind of knew how it went. It's pretty different.
Yeah, I like that though. I like hearing the original.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it's cool for people to hear where it actually came from and where it ended up. I mean, I was thinking about even like the last single, "Put 'Em Up." I actually wrote that riff at the start of COVID, and I keep toying with the idea of actually, going through and saying, "Oh, this is how the riff started out, and then it became this, and then I added this thing to it, and blah blah blah." And there was actually another for "Put 'Em Up." There's actually a whole other set of words.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I kind of wrote it with my mate Anthony, and just didn't sit for me, so I went back with Nat and Nat Pearson and Tori Dark and wrote the lyrics that became "Put 'Em Up." So yeah.
You're right. I love that. I love hearing stories about that. There's heaps of questions coming through about Blue Eyes as well. Belinda said, "Is it a sad ballad?"
No. It's a happy ballad. It's about I guess it's about unrequited love, kind of, but at the same time, it's just about falling for someone and them, being all of the things that you wanted in a person, kind of thing.
Yes.
It's not sad though. It's not the typical country sad ballad. No.
And it was interesting you said that you wrote this before you sort of went down the country path. Do you think that you sort of knew that was where you were going to head at some point?
I mean, I'd always be in rock bands, and I'd bring songs in and they'd say, "Oh man, cool song. Can't use it though. It's way too country." And I'd be like, "No, it's not. I don't do country."
And you do country.
And I completely do.
You are. Darren asked, "Are you going to play the new one at the Finley BNS?"
No, it's ballad. So I'm not going to. I'll play "Put 'Em Up." I'll play "Put 'Em Up" at Finley, but I'm not going to do Blue Eyes. It'll be just everyone would walk to the bar.
Yeah, well, fair. Have you got a set list ready, or are you just going to make it as it comes?
I kind of know what's going to get played. With BNSs, it's a difficult one. You can't do too many originals because people just get bored because they don't know the songs. But I'll definitely do my big singles, and Scarlet's Way are also performing with me, so those guys will do a couple of their songs as well, and the rest of it will just be party. So.
Darren, you're on filming duty because we want to see. We're waiting to see.
I want to see too. Come backstage. You can walk around the stage and film us. It'll be better.
There you go. That's what you need. And Darren said flame trees.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't want to give away my whole set list, but probably.
Yes, that'll be. Yeah, I love that. I love that when we go to BNSs, you get a certain style, but then you go to a sit-down song and you get a different side of the artist. So I think it's what makes it special. Different shows, different types. But there are so many messages coming through. I'm trying to keep up to you all. I'm sorry. They all go country in the end. Jimmy Barnes, Billy Thorpe. Well, they all learn that it's the best way to be, isn't it?
I mean, let's be real. Jimmy Barnes is always country. Listen to any of that old Cold Chisel stuff. There's so much country in it.
There's so much that we didn't realize was country back then.
Yeah, they're just probably the biggest ever Australian country rock band. They just happen to do some other stuff as well, but so many country songs amongst the Chisel stuff.
I really do. I agree with that completely, actually. So 2 new singles coming out this year already. What is your plan? Have you got more music up your sleeve? We're looking at maybe an album at some point. What are you thinking?
World domination is the goal.
Is the goal?
No, I'm just going to do a really solid release schedule this year and probably next year as well. I've got songs ready to go already. I've got a couple of covers as well. Then I'm not going to do a full release on the covers. They'll just be kind of in betweens, because it's like for an artist, we release and it's kind of a 3-month turnaround between songs. After you've done all the press and all that kind of stuff, and it gives it time for the song to die away, and then you release the next one. But
it's hard.
I hate using the word, but for fans, 3 months is probably too long. After 2 weeks, they've probably gone, Oh, cool. Well, John Johnson released a new song, and you know, Caitlin's Rain released a new song, and Scarlett's Way released a new song, Natalie Pearson released a new song, and all of a sudden you've gone to the back burner in a couple of weeks. So if you're releasing stuff in between, it gives you a chance to kind of, I'm giving away my secrets, keeping.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I'm just going to do covers in between because, you know, people that like what I do will
listen regardless. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
and people that don't like what I do won't care, so it won't matter.
Yep, that's fair. And that's a really good idea because when you know, releasing an original, especially like the amount of money and time that goes into that release, you sort of need that 3-month turnaround as well to be ready for it and to be ready to go again. But you're right. For those that are released to that hardcore level, they do want something in between, and it just keeps your name in those playlists as well. It just keeps it over.
I mean, I don't know that the songs I'm recording are probably going to keep me in the playlist because they're very different. Like I'm not going to do covers of country songs. That would be I don't know.
What do you want to do?
Like one of them is a cover of "Everybody Wants to Rule the World" because I just love that song.
Yep, but that's the thing, isn't it? Now, like it is about it's becoming more about what you want to release than what's going. Like it used to be, you released what they were telling you would sell, but artists are now not worrying about where it sits on the genre areas, and they're doing what they do more.
I think there's some artists doing that. I have to do that because I mean, for me, it's I do this because I kind of have to because it's who I am. It's part of me. I mean. Would I say no if I became a multi-billionaire rock star? Yeah, of course true. I wouldn't. But at the same time, all of these songs that I'm releasing, they're all from here. I've never written a song. I rephrase. I'll correct myself. I've written one song that was written for a purpose. Everything else has just been stuff that's come out of me. I wrote Fearless Rider because I was doing the PBRs and I wanted to have a song that I could do that was specific for that, right? But everything else has just been about how I'm feeling or what's going on. Even the party songs are from that aspect. You know, it's always been about art for me. It's not about, you know, what are all of the teenage girls going to like?
Yeah. And that exactly. But a lot of what you have written, obviously, people are listening to it and wanting to hear it.
Thank God.
As a result of that, though, does that mean like when you songwrite, it's harder? Like, is it something that you have to do just when it comes to you, or can you schedule a write? Because you hear a lot of people going, "Oh, we've booked in a songwriting session for then," but if I was writing, I think I would struggle to do that. I have to write now. I have to sit down and write a song right now.
I've definitely done both, and I've definitely written great songs in both ways. I've never walked into a songwrite and written a song in 20 minutes, and I've definitely done that by myself when the inspiration hits, you know. Like there's a song on my first album, the Brook Chivell Band album. The last song on that album, I literally wrote in 20 minutes. Yeah. Literally. It just flowed out as a melody and words, and then I went home and worked out what the chords were that went behind it, but that was literally written in 20 minutes.
Wow. Because it's interesting to hear. I love listening to how people do different writes, and you get those ones that wake up in the middle of the night and I have to do it right now because if I don't, it just won't flow. And then others that go, oh, I'm doing that on next Tuesday. We're going to write a song. And it's interesting to see how it plays for everyone. I know you're sitting there with your guitar, and I know everybody wants me to get you to play a song. Are you happy to do one still?
Yeah, if you want me to.
Okay. Love to. I'm going to give you the room, and you can sing whichever one you like.
I'm gonna do the new one because nobody's actually ever heard it.
Ooh, I can't wait.
A bit of a preview. It doesn't sound anything like this in the recording.
That's all right. We can have two versions. We'll see you in a moment.
Blue is the sky, don't compare to your eyes, and how they make me feel like I've known you before, but what they had in store, it just doesn't seem real. So you find a place in my heart, that I didn't know was here. Now I know. And every time I see your smile, I know it's real. Everything seems so worthwhile, and I know you can see how I feel for you, how I feel for you. The darkest of nights or the brightest of nights can't stop me seeing your face. It's deep in my mind and my heart that you'll find your picture's right in its place. You found a place in my heart that I didn't know was there. Now I know. Every time I see your smile, I know it's me. Everything seems so worthwhile, and I know you can see how I feel for you, how I feel for you. You found a place in my heart, didn't know I was there. I would give everything just to be with you, to hold you close. Now nobody has before. Every time I see your smile, I know it's real. Everything seems so worthwhile. I know you can see how I feel for you, how I feel for you.
Love that song. Everybody's loving it. There's so many comments coming in saying it's going to be played so much, and they can't wait to hear the recorded version. I'm assuming your mum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mum.
Hi, Mum. Kayleen's clapping. Oh, gosh, I can't keep up. There's so many coming through. I did see a comment a few minutes ago wanting to know where you're going to be in Tamworth in this coming January, which sounds like a long way away, but it's not. We're only 6
No, it's really not. I was actually talking with a couple of mates last night and said, I better get on to booking a show because I haven't done the last 2 Tamworths. I didn't
think you were there this year. I
was there for about 7 hours this year.
Yeah, right. You did. Yeah, that's because you did the park didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. Because I was on tour in like Albury, Wodonga, along the border there.
Ah, yeah, okay.
And then I headed back, and I was like, oh, I'm going to drive pretty much straight through Tamworth. I might as well stop off. So I went and hung out with Brandy for a couple of hours, and hung out with Katie and Shane, and then I thought, was the show finished? I thought I'm just going to drive home, so I drove home.
It's like 8 or 9 hours, isn't it?
No, it's about 6.5 to the Gold Coast. Not too bad.
Oh yeah, because you're Gold Coast, not Brisbane. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad at all, actually. Yeah.
But,
no,
yeah,
I was there, but I didn't see a lot. I was very busy.
I think I got home at like 4:00 in the morning or something. But it was just one of those I really want to sleep. And I didn't have any accom book down there, and I thought I want to sleep on my own bed.
Yeah, I can understand that. I had we had lots of people coming to our hotel going, we haven't got anywhere to stay, and we had a fold-out couch that turned into like a double bed. So there was quite a few people knocking on the door going, can we have a moment? But yeah, so I can understand that. We stayed right in the centre of Tamworth, so it was great. But by the end of it, I was pretty keen to get home to my bed. Very keen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'll do like the full. I probably won't do the full 10 days, just because I've done that. I've been there, done the 14, 15 shows in a week, and by the end of the week, you're not putting on good shows anymore. You just can't.
Your throat's done. Everything's done, and even you get sick of the same songs, singing the same songs over and over again for 14 days in a row.
On the upside, by the time you get to the end of the week, like everybody in the band's got their stuff together.
Everyone remembers what they're playing. Yeah,
it's just that you've got no voice left, so you can't sing it properly. And because I don't do any of those. Like, I don't really do that many low songs. The low stuff's easy, like Hot Country Girl, and even Put 'Em Up. I guess at the start, but Put 'Em Up gets pretty high towards the end. But in general, I don't really. I like to push my voice and see what show people what I've got, kind of thing. So
exactly. Does that mean like when you're doing your set list, do you think that about that sort of thing too? Like if you've got loads of gigs, you just go, I can't put that in there at this time, and is that something that you're consciously doing as well? Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when I'm gigging up here, I mean, there'd be days I just won't sing anything that's too high, or I'll tune it down, that kind of thing. When I do original gigs, usually it's like I'll start out with some stuff that's kind of in the middle of my voice, like, or even low stuff like Hot Country Girl or whatever, and then I'll work my way towards the higher stuff, because it's just once you're warm, that stuff's easy. I used to be so scared of Drive On. I just wouldn't
Drive On.
Yeah. There's a high A in that song. Yeah. And I was always so scared of it for years and years and years. I'd get to the point in the set and I'd just turn around to the boys and say, nah. Now it's fine.
Yeah.
But back then that was always the tough one. So
is that something that you have found hard getting back into too? Because we had quite a long period there with no gigs. Did you just keep practicing and singing at home so that you didn't lose that? You didn't. You just
I didn't. But we were lucky in Queensland. I only had. So our last gig was on the 21st of March, and my first gig back was only a 2-hour spot, but we went back to doing short gigs mid-June.
Yeah, right. So you didn't have. You're like us. We didn't have much time where we completely closed either.
But even then, I was like, I remember sitting there going, so like 3 a.m. going, what are the words to this song? How's this song go? I've only sung it.
I know this song.
Times.
And I always watch. That's one thing whenever I go to a show, and like, especially like at the moment, there's all these clips everywhere of Taylor Swift and her tour and all these big artists. But I sit there thinking, how do they remember all the lyrics? Because I know they're their songs.
Well, those guys have auto prompt.
They're hearing it, but you guys don't.
I mean, like John Farnham had a teleprompter on the floor since the mid '80s.
But a lot of them don't. Well, they say they don't, but probably do. But they say they don't.
I don't know. I mean, most of the time, even if I'm singing somebody else's song, if I muck up, as long as I keep singing, because usually you just forget what the next words are. You don't forget all the words. You're like 3 lines ahead because you thought about it. That's the problem. Is what's the next line? As soon as you think that, you're gone.
Yeah, that's the trick, isn't it? Hang on, Kaz has got another comment. The first gig that I went to, Victoria, was really? There you go. It was yours in that gig, and it was freezing. The first gig that she went to when she moved to Victoria.
Right. Which gig was that?
The Obama, Nat on Obama.
I don't know what Obama is.
I'm not sure.
That's the ex-president.
That's what I was thinking. Like, was he there? Because the artist I had on last week, Nathan, was actually singing because of President Obama had given him a bit of a pep talk, and it got him into singing.
Right.
So that's a crazy thing that I never thought. Here, she's popped it up again. Trafalgar.
There you go. At the Power Ranch. Oh, that was a great venue. I missed that.
That would have been a couple of years ago now, wouldn't it?
It would have been. Yeah, that was. We actually played the last one, or maybe it was the second last one actually. But yeah, that was 4 years ago, I think. 5 years ago.
Yeah, right. God, that's gone quick.
So quick.
Wow. We've got 3 minutes left and people are requesting songs. Kaz just said it was 2017.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Dan has just popped in and said hello. And Kaylin said that she lives near Melbourne, enough said. So it was from what we were talking about before, being freezing cold, I think. But yeah, so we were talking before about shows and different tours. Have you got any shows that people could come and check you out at the moment that are booked and we can
At the moment, I've got Finley BNS, which is on the 20th of May, which is next week, pretty much.
Yeah. Is that sold out?
No, not yet.
People can still get tickets.
Get your tickets and get along. It's going to be a fun show. That's with the guys from Scarlet's Way as well. And a band called No Plans is the other band. So that'll be a great show, good fun, and I'm really looking forward to rocking out. Aside from that, I'm in the middle of putting some shows together. They'll mainly be around Southeast Queensland to begin with, but the goal is to kind of reach out. Like I'm lucky enough to only work. I work 2 days on my day job, so because I gig the rest of the time, and I could probably put together some runs like to Sydney or whatever. Melbourne's harder because it's such a long drive. I mean, I'd love to get down to Tassie again.
Yes, you have to come down, definitely.
Every time I put up a thing saying, where do you guys want me to play?
Tassie.
It's like nearly half is Melbourne and Tassie.
Yep. And you know what? The COVID was so good for us because of that. Like, people did get to come. We still got a bit of shows down there, and it's actually grown here because of it. People are going to live shows. Yeah, well, that's right. So you have to come back, because we do have a big hunger for it at the moment. And like, to the point that if I see somebody down the street, they're like, oh, when's such and such coming? I get that all the time for all different artists. And it just makes you think, wow, we've got, I would say that we've doubled what we would have been having before COVID, because people I think they realised how much we had in Australia. I don't think they'd fully understood the Australian music scene until then, because people came here and they didn't, they were bored because we'd been locked out of everything. So they'd go along to someone they didn't know of, and they're like, they're really good. And it's just, it's worked. So
that's been great for us. I mean, obviously it's still, American artists are the ones that get all of and a lot of Australian artists are struggling with the ticket sales thing. And that's the hard bit, is because a lot of people wait until the last minute and go, oh, I'll just see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then if they decide not to go, that for us, that's like, we've only sold, 40 tickets. There may have been 200 people that were going to come, but
they probably still
sold. If we've only sold 30 tickets, you can't put the show on, because it's like we're gonna lose so much money. So if anyone's watching and they're thinking about going to a show, buy a ticket now, because it helps the artists out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that with the education, people are slowly getting back to that. And it's funny, because I don't know whether you had any issues, but in COVID, any tickets that shows that were cancelled, I either had the option to get my money back, or it was, hold on, it will be rescheduled. And I didn't lose anything through COVID because of it. But I still think it's just that nerves of, oh, what if going on. But,
the only one I had was Keith Urban, and I got to see him.
Me too. That was one of mine. I kept hold of it because I knew he'd come. And look, I there's probably some people out there that had issues, but I haven't found any venues that haven't, if something came up, not giving me my money back. So, if you really want to go, get the ticket and just trust that artists are going to do the right thing by you. So if it gets cancelled, you won't lose out.
I would say most. I mean, because you just can't afford to disappoint people like that. It's so hard. Like, I've built my fan base one person at a time. If I disappoint one of them, that's one person that I work so hard to get.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge social media guy. I'm not a pretty girl. I'm not going to get a bunch of followers. How beautiful I am.
His skirt's not doing it for us tonight. It is 7:00. I do have to run, but I would love to have you back on the show for a bit more of a chat about this song if you're keen.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we go, where can we pre-save or pre-buy any of those, whatever you do for all the different platforms? Pre-save on Spotify. I'm not sure what Apple's doing now.
It's all of those things. So I think that you've got a link there somewhere.
I do have a link. I do have a link at the top of the comments. That should take them to all of them, shouldn't it? That one?
Yeah. Or if they want to go to my page on social media, which is, I'm on all I'm not on TikTok, or don't you really use Twitter, but on Instagram and Facebook, it's Brook Chivell Official.
Yeah.
And
I've actually
check that out.
And I've actually put up on, because your YouTube is also Brook Chivell official, isn't it? So that's up the top of the links as well for you guys. Because it is hard. There's like when you go onto YouTube, you get the artist and then it says topic. Well, that's not their page. It's actually, but I have put in there for you guys to have a look at. And I think your Spotify's up there as well.
Yeah. So if they can, even following on those kind of things is a big help as well, because everything's based on algorithms these days, and it's got nothing to do with the song and more to do with
That is one thing I hope we do learn, figure out a way to get back to.
Yeah.
Somehow, and I'm sure there's an answer, but we've just got to push by until
you can always tell who's worked it out, because they'll skyrocket for a minute there.
Yes.
And then everybody else will work it out as well, but you'll see one person that just goes, "Whoa," and you're like, "Where'd that guy come from? You've never even heard of that guy."
Yes.
For me, that was like, I knew who James Johnson was.
Yeah, but a lot of people have that. Yeah. All of a sudden.
Like, what the hell? He's headlining festivals.
Yeah, it did. It felt like that. He came out of the gate, and then all of a sudden, it felt like he was sort of up there. And I think it was I think a lot of that was probably also algorithm, because things just don't get out, and then all of a sudden,
he worked it out.
Yeah, and
good on him. Good on him. Like he worked out a thing, and that worked. That strategy worked. It'll never work again because it's been done, and people are like, when everybody gets on it, it's over.
They go, we'll fix that. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But it works. Yes. Well, I'm going to have to run, guys. We've got another show. If you hold on, we've got Mark and Alison joining us. They'd be in the green room in the other area. So come say hi. But while we're doing the changeover, go and pre-save Brook's new song. The link is up in the comments or on his pages. So jump over there and make sure you're following and giving them a like. It does make a difference. Thank you for coming on again, Brook. It feels like it's been far too long. We are not good at this. We need to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever you want. I don't do much. I'm not doing the weekly Facebook lives anymore. So,
I know. I miss that. It was so much fun when you did that every week. But
it was a lot. Again, it was just the algorithm killed it.
Yeah. It was hiding it in the feeds. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Go and get and pre-order, pre-save Brook's new song, and when it's out, let us know what you think. Put it in the comments, send us a message, because we love to hear it. But we'll see you all in just a few minutes. We'll see you guys later.
See you guys.